Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. My name is Ben Kelly. It is Monday, which means you all know what it means. It's time for Liverpool Development Watch. We're going to start with the loans, as we always do. And to be honest, there's not much to talk about this week. A lot of games were postponed in the Championship because of snow and just the dreadful weather that has come from the beast in the east. But a few of our loanees did feature. Not much happened though. We're going to start with, who are we going to start with? We're going to start with Randall, who was subbed in the dying moments for Hearts. He played pretty much 90 minutes as they lost 2-1 to Motherwell in the Scottish Cup. You know it's been a dry week when I'm starting with Scottish Cup games. That's just the way it is. He's come out this week, though, and suggested that he's perhaps open to a permanent move to Hearts this summer, which, to be honest, I think will fit him quite well. He's probably not going to get in the side at Liverpool now. We've got quite a lot of right-back prospects. We're swimming in them, basically. He's not going to get the team. He's playing very well at Hearts. He's getting regular minutes there. Probably a good time for him. He probably knows that as well. He's probably watching us and going, we've got Gomez, we've got Alexander-Arnold, we've got Nathaniel Klein coming back. He's probably thinking, I'm getting nowhere near that squad at the moment. So he's been asked about his future this week and whether or not he'd be open to a permanent move. And he said this, it hasn't come up yet. The conversation hasn't happened. If it does, I'll be open to listening to that conversation. It depends what happens in the summer between the clubs and what they decide to do. I haven't heard anything yet. All I can say is that I've really enjoyed my time here. Hearts have a great setup, a great set of fans, and I think this club is going to go on to big things. In Scotland, it's a massive club and deserves to be higher up the table and winning silverware. That's not far around the corner. Now, obviously, for any club to compete with Celtic in the Scottish League is quite an achievement, and if Randall thinks that Hearts aren't far away from doing that, then clearly he's got some belief in the club, and perhaps that's where he should be. Anyway, we're going to move on to just a bit of a general report, really. Ovie Ejaria played 90 minutes for Sunderland in centre midfield as they drew 1-1 with Millwall. Ryan Kent was an unused sub for Bristol City as they beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-0 on Saturday. Divock Origi played 70 minutes for Wolfsburg, 2 shots on goal, neither of which were on target. Another bad day at the office for Divock. John Flanagan was involved in the Bolton squad as they played Preston North End and lost 3-1 at home. Yeah, I remember. And Naby Keita was one of the best players on the pitch for RB Leipzig as they drew 1-0 with Borussia Dortmund. It was a fabulous assist. He got the assist for the opener. He got the assist for Jean-Kevin Augustine as he put Leipzig 1-0 up. It was a really, really good piece of play from Keita in the midfield. Wins the ball really well. Aggressive tackling. And then he plays the ball through and Augustine does the rest. Really good start. Marco Reus then equalised for Dortmund and that's the way it stayed. Speaking of Naby Keita, you all know what's coming now. It's 117 days until he puts on a Liverpool shirt. And that is your Keita countdown for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing I wanted to talk about, a few people last week in the comments below were asking about Liverpool loanee Allan Rodriquez De Souza. Now, I do read the comments, so don't say I don't listen to you, don't say I don't give you what you want. But he's on loan at Apollon Limassol at the moment. I don't talk about him because for time and, you know, we're trying to select the players who have a future at Liverpool. And many people will go, well, Allan Rodriquez is a very good player. You may well have a future at Liverpool. But as we all know, as we're all aware, this is the guy who's having trouble getting a work permit, and that's what a lot of people were asking about in the comments last week. You know, they don't really understand what's going on. Why can't he get a work permit in England? What's the issues with it? And basically, prior to him signing in 2015, just prior to that, regulations were tightened on work permit criteria for non-EU players in 2015, which basically means that as a Brazilian, it's going to be a lot harder for him to get a work permit to be able to play in the country. God knows how that will change after Brexit, but we'll see how it goes. Cheers, Theresa May. Basically, points towards a permit are rewarded for certain criteria, including international caps, the transfer fee, which was 500 grand, their wages, and the amount of playing time they've had across in a given season. I think it's 30% of the allotted. He needs to have played 30% of the available playing minutes for the club that he's currently at this season. I don't know whether he's done that, to be perfectly honest. I know how many minutes he's played, but I don't know how many games they've played and all that. But the biggie criteria is the international caps because, well, you basically need to prove that you can do a job as a winger, you can be a footballer, and you can do it really, really well. And if you're getting into your national side, then of course points are going to go towards that permit and they're going to let you into the country. However, if you're playing in the Cyprus League and you're Brazilian, you're getting nowhere near that squad, are you? So I think he's going to really, really struggle to get this work permit. I was talking to Chris before. and it's pretty much a general consensus that he's never going to play for Liverpool. Unless they ease the regulations for younger players, which has been discussed, that it's looking like he'll just never get the points required to get a permit. I think he would be good in Jurgen Klopp's side. I think he's a good nippy little winger. God knows where he'd fit in terms of our attack, because those three are on fire at the moment. But, he's a young prospect. He's only 21. It was actually his birthday on Saturday, so he's just turned 21. I just don't think it's plausible, really. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is your update on Allan Rodriquez De Souza, rather. I hope that's cleared some of it up. Basically, long story short, he's probably never going to play for Liverpool. That's all you need to know. There are several reasons why, which I've just explained, but there you go. The long story short is that he probably will never play for us. But onto the youth side. Neil Critchley's under-23s lost 2-1 to Porto on Wednesday as they were knocked out of the Premier League International Cup at the quarter-final stage. Really, really difficult one to take this year. Premier League International Cup is basically their equivalent of the Champions League at that level. They've been drawn against Porto just as the first team were, and yet they had loads of chances, particularly in the first half, just couldn't put them away. They went 1-0 up through Matty Virtue. It was a really well-taken goal, good finish from him. They went into half-time with a 1-0 lead. Not long after the break, Porto equalised. Danny Ward was in goal. He made some really, really good saves. Danny Ward was alive, by the way. Everybody seemed to be in awe on Twitter when the team was announced and Danny Ward was starting in goal. But yeah, he made some excellent saves. 2 great saves to tip Eppets over the bar at 1-1, and then another one was a good recovery. He'd initially fumbled it, the ball comes in and it's headed downwards, and it's snowing. This game, by the way, was moved because of bad snow and the weather anyway. It was moved from Prenton Park to Lee Sports Village. The pitch was an absolute nightmare. It was completely white, particularly in the second half. So this header comes down, and what should be a simple Gallagher Ward sort of slips away from him, and then he has to recover. And he does really well. He does well to get back up on his feet and block the resulting shot from the Porto fella. Gerrard's under-18s, on the other hand, didn't play this weekend, but faced Derby County on Saturday at 12 o'clock, just half an hour before the first team kick-off away at Man United at Old Trafford. So, as much as I love doing this show, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, Stevie. I won't be watching that. I'm sure Stevie's just as annoyed that he can't watch that game as well. But either way, that wraps up your development watch this week, ladies and gentlemen. It was a little bit shorter this week because of time, but thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like the video, follow me on Twitter. Don't like me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at bkelly776, and I will see you next week for more Development Watch. Bye-bye.